Welcome to season 2 of Two Assholes Talking About the Nick and Dan Show.
Well, with how cold it's been out, you need that extra layer of fucking blubber. You know?
Right. That's how seals live.
Yeah. Absolutely.
If not, they would die.
So you're saying I'm like a seal?
I'm like a seal.
We're all like
we are. I mean, we're not as cleanly shaven as seals, but
well, they got some pretty big whiskers, man.
They do.
We could be.
So you got the whiskers on the front. I got the whiskers, or on the top. I got the whiskers on the front.
I mean, Dan, you could. How much do you trust me?
Not that much.
That's a loaded question.
Yeah, it's probably better that you approach it that way.
Yeah.
Don't trust me.
I'm gonna shave my own ball sack. I don't want you anywhere near it.
It's rules to live by, kids. Shave your own ball sack.
That's right. Never let Nick shave your ball sack.
Nope.
Ever.
Or any other random person that comes and offers it.
So welcome to season 2.
Yeah. Welcome to season 2 of the Nick and Dan Show. We have Mario and Gus. What's going on, gentlemen?
Hello, hello.
Hello. Welcome to the big comfy couch.
Yes, it's comfy.
Except for you.
Yeah, well, you know.
You don't get the big comfy couch.
I figured we'd let the guests have the big comfy couch.
And me?
And, you know, I guess so.
That's a lot of love.
Yeah, we traded the motorcycles in for a big comfy couch. Our new digs at the All WNY Radio Head News Headquarters.
That's right.
Okay, so
Head News Headquarters.
Head News Headquarters. Absolutely.
All right. So, we're here in the...
We need a medic.
You got me.
Lord
of Jesus.
Lord of Jesus. So now we're here in our new home of the All WNY News and Radio office.
Right. Yep.
I'm very happy to have you both here. Tell us your background, your histories. What makes you the musician that you are today?
I started off with the Beatles at five years old. My mom would clean the house and cook, and my dad would come home, and we would sit there and listen to Beatles albums, and that was the start. Then it branched off into the Big Four during the 80s, so I don't know where the Beatles jumped to Metallica, Anthrax, Megadeth, and Slayer, but that happened. And then there was all sorts of crazy offshoots in the late 80s. And then you had Pantera come out of nowhere, which absolutely blew my mind and probably everyone else in this room.
Of course.
And then I really dug the Nirvana grunge era. I think Nevermind was the first album I think I ever learned on guitar from beginning to end.
Okay.
I don't know if it was because it was easy or because I really enjoyed it and I wanted to learn it. Probably both. And,
great songwriting too.
Right.
Yeah. And I still refer to that too. trying to get a whole band into like how simplicity works in music, and they were really they were, whether they knew it at the time or not, they were really good at it. And then Green Day jumped out of nowhere, and then that was for me like SoCal punk for the rest of the time. I think Pennywise and Bad Religion were real big for me through 90s up until 2000. Now I think nowadays the best out there is 30-0 as far as the last the Y2K push. And so it's been a total eclectic journey for me. It would go starting from the Beatles to metal, huge roots in that, to pop, rock, punk, kind of So and now I'm trying to put all of that in songs that I'm trying to write, or enjoy myself first and foremost. So
okay, cool, man. Mario, same question.
So you're trying to be like have the effect on others that your influence has had on you.
Probably, yeah.
To have that ability to have something simple and powerful, because to me it's a lot easier to have something that's simple to resonate because it's easier to remember. Like a lot of complex music is awesome, and I like a lot of progressive stuff, a lot of the tech stuff, a lot of heavier stuff, because as a bass player, some music to play isn't very challenging.
Absolutely.
So then you tend to get more technical things and stuff to get your ability on the instrument awesome, but then if you can put technical things into a commercial, not even commercial, but just a song that's easily digestible, like to me that's an art in itself. Like you brought up the Nirvana stuff, and And I remember when they said they recorded either Nevermind or Bleach. Kurt Cobain had a cassette, and one side was Beatles, and the other side was Celtic Frost. And that's all he listened to while he was writing the songs. And you'd hear, like, you know, like Mr. Mustache and all that, and Floyd the Barber and all the different songs that would have just, like, and the bass in that was one of the things I noticed right away. It was real driving, but it was filled with hooks and melodies and stuff that would draw you in. Like, you'd walk away. It'd kind of be like some of the Violent Femme stuff. When you hear dun 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 dun, when you hear Bliss in Her Son, you don't have to. All you have to hear is the bass for that.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You know, and certain other songs, and that's when I realized the power of bass. I listened to music ever since I was a kid. My mom was a big, like, Willie Nelson country fan. I had 2 older sisters, so a lot of the stuff that I heard was stuff that was a few years older than me.
Mm.
So, like, the first record I ever bought was, like, Kiss Destroyer, and then it was Farewell to Kings by Rush.
Okay.
So kind of for that, I started on guitar, and then the first guitar teacher I had, 3 days before they were going to play at this Battle of the Bands thing in Niagara Wheatfield High School, their bass player quit because he was trying to sabotage the band. He's like, no, I'm going to teach you how to play bass, and you're going to play these songs.
Nice.
So I did that. Then I went to play guitar again, and then the second band that I tried out for had Jamie Holka on guitar, and as we know, he's a local phenomenon, and even at the age of, I think he was 4 years old when we started playing, he was incredible then. So the singer was like, I have a bass, and I know you've played bass before, so that got my thing to play bass, because apparently nobody plays bass except you and I.
Apparently not.
Nobody has a vehicle. Nobody has time to do it, or no one is willing to put up with the rest of the musicians that make up bands.
I hear you, man.
That say, hey, no one's going to notice you and no one's going to care about you,
Yeah.
but will you just haul around the heaviest stuff except the drums and,
Seriously.
you know, just try to play
I
as
got
loud
to tell
as
you,
you can.
man, I'm almost positive you're the hardest working local musician.
Oh, no, there's several. They're self-more than me, but thank you. I fooled you into thinking I'm good.
I fooled you into thinking.
I've deceived everyone, so
Well, maybe not good, but the most in demand.
Oh, no, there's more than me, but see, I've basically tricked people into believing that I'm a wanted commodity,
Ah, God.
and half of it, perception becomes reality. So if you try hard, kids, maybe someone will actually want you to play in your band.
Supply and demand, man.
Met Gus, saw it. Bandy had Dirty Smile, they were playing, and I remember they were playing at the Evening Star. I leaned over to the sound man, Greg Rinker. I said, if they ever have an opening in that band, get me in it.
Hell yeah.
They're incredible. Then one time, they needed someone to fill in. They asked me. I was like, this would be great. And a lot of things I've stumbled into have been...
You're being rather modest about that. You're leaving off that. I had asked you. You were the first person I had asked to fill in and help out, and because I'd seen you play, you know, the last 10 years in every band, and it's always been awesome. And I'm like, I can't wait to play with this guy. So we had, unfortunately, the bass player at the time just got a new job, and we had booked all these shows, one of them being Ironworks, and asked Mario if he could do it, and he said, yeah, but I have hip surgery, like, tomorrow, and I will only have about 10 days recovery. I'd love to do it, but I'm not sure. And so we ended up being like, all right, well, we'll see how this ends up working out. And he had a surgery, and I literally was calling you like every other day. Said, hey, how you feeling, Mario? Because it was getting real close to the date. We had just started this residency at Ironworks, and he's like, oh, I'm feeling pretty good. And he ended up, he had who helped you out?
I brought my friend Rick Zaker.
That's right. He came, and Mario basically stood up there, new hip and everything, and rocked the set. And I was like, dude, I can't wait to play. I have to be in a band with this guy at some point. And that was, what, 2 years? I think that was 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So
It's a little while back.
yeah.
Well, I mean, the only way to test out a new hip is on stage.
Right. There's one other way, but if you do that on stage, they tend to frown upon that.
Well, it depends on the clientele.
Yeah, on the stage.
It was the Continental. If the Continental was still around, that would have flown.
Some people
totally.
do pay for it.
Totally.
That would have been right. But not to see me.
I mean, there's glass involved, you know, there's separation,
Barriers,
but
right.
a lot of people do pay for that.
Some quarters.
Yeah, quarters. Usually a couch kind of like that.
Yeah, covered in plastic.
That's why I'm over here.
Yeah, it all depends. I mean, if it's like a 50 cent, there's no plastic involved.
No,
if
no
it's like the
plastic
cheap
at all.
stuff, they got the plastic out.
They should definitely have that.
Yeah, I mean, you got lower quality there. You know, they're not really going for precision and aim. It's
Right.
all about just getting
Right.
to the end.
The grand finale.
When you start getting into 50, 75 cent deposits, that's where there's a little more
It's
quality
right.
involved, a
You
little
could
more
get-
production value.
And personal protective gear, too.
Yes,
That's always important.
that's right.
Absolutely.
Helmets. Always important to wear your helmet.
With the screen.
Yep.
Or at least a rain slicker.
At least rain slicker.
Yeah.
Now, is there a certain brand of rain slicker that you prefer over the other?
Just the bright yellow ones, man.
The bright yellow brand.
And if you can't find a rain slicker, rain boots.
This is all great advice from Nick and Dan.
You don't want anything you own to touch that floor.
No.
This is just general life advice. We'll get back to the music in a minute. But these are things everyone should know. It does not matter what your vocation is, what your hobbies are. Safety first.
Absolutely.
Safety first.
Don't let anything touch the floor.
No.
Anything whatsoever.
And now for a word from our sponsors.
Is the banana in your pocket losing its appeal? Not quite as firm and ripe as it once was? Afraid your lady's about to split? Will a capuchin monkey walk away in disgust? Is it about time to consider making nut bread with your mushy fruit? Fear not, it's Bob Paulmana's potassium supplement. Side effects include, but are not limited to, spots on your peel, pale yellow color, loss of erection, opening from the wrong end, low blood pressure, high blood pressure, no blood pressure, unwanted satanic friends, divorce, marriage, polygamous marriage, premature browning, attraction of fruit flies, spontaneous human combustion, feeling of spiritual enlightenment, and finally, overwhelming feeling of wanting to add yourself to your favorite breakfast cereal. Bob Paul's Potassium Supplement. Good for you.
Let's step outside of the music. We'll get back to the music in a moment, like you said.
Sure.
Hobbies. What hobbies do you guys have outside of being fucking awesome on stage?
When I'm not doing gigs or working, I'm usually practicing the bass and trying to learn songs for playing with people. And that's pretty much it.
So
I don't have a life.
So Mario's life is music.
I don't have a life. Right.
No.
Yeah. Drive here, drive there, pick up a bass, play a little bit. Drive somewhere else, play bass somewhere else.
Right.
Yeah. I love movies, entertainment. So
Any particular movies that, like, genre or style of movies that you prefer?
I like all of the superhero action movies. I love those. And then in between that, I like romantic comedies.
Okay.
I like the whole arc of falling in love with someone, and then there's always, holy shit, there's tragedy, and then some sort of happiness towards at the end. So it's like they all bring that all out in 1 hour and a half thing. So I like the ones that are mostly comedy based, because when I watch something, I don't want to be reminded of life.
How
True life.
How real life struggles cannot easily be solved in an hour and a half.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. So those are all. I try and avoid all the ones that make me feel miserable.
So you like to escape some.
All right.
Take a few moments to escape.
So the point came up. You like your superhero movies.
Yes.
DC versus Marvel. What are your thoughts on the overall approach?
I think Marvel's just killing it right now. Obviously, I just saw Thor Ragnarok last night, and it's by far the best movie that Marvel's put out yet. I really did. There's been a lot for the whole Justice League, backlash.
Mm-hmm.
I liked that movie a lot. I thought it was better than the last two. So I think they're trying too hard. They should have. What DC should have done was they should have just went with trying to build the way they wanted to make it, rather than jump on Marvel's coattails and try and figure it out how Marvel did it. I think with DC, one of the storylines I really liked is actually from the video game, where Superman becomes in an alternate reality. He feels that all superheroes should is all bad, so he outlaws it, and he becomes like this overall, being and everyone's trying to figure out, bad guys and good guys, how to defeat Superman. Okay. I love that storyline a lot, and I really wish that they would go that way. And they kind of teased on it in I don't know which one it was, where the Flash came out and said to Bruce Wayne, it might have been the first movie, I'm not sure, but they were saying they kind of teased, they kind of teased where they thought it should they tease this storyline a little bit, but I really want them to go that route.
Mm-hmm.
So a long way of saying that they're doing it poorly compared to Marvel.
No, I mean, first off, I've always been a DC comic fan as far as that goes. I like Marvel. I always liked the social approach they took to everything as far as approaching racism back in the 60s with things like the X-Men being the outcasts. I always really did appreciate that about them. While as DC was much more the almost bolstering the morale. I mean, you look at Superman from the early on, the 1930s and 1940s, really meant as to rebolster hope in America, the American dream, with the world wars and everything going
like the
on.
ideal to strive for.
Yes. Batman very much being fighting against the underbelly of everything, and so they really approach it from a more broad spectrum. But with the movies, Marvel, initially off the jump, we could even go back to the 80s with the mini-series and everything. They had a rough go of it, while as DC really approached it properly as far as franchising and everything, really building Superman. I mean, we'll forget that the fourth Superman ever happened. That was bad. What was that, with a Quest for Hope or something? That was awful.
Can't all be winners, kids.
No, they can't all be winners. But then the Batman franchise, initially, they did a great job with that. The problem is they lost steam. They lost sight of everything. They tried to go too campy and fell apart. Marvel really reinvented themselves, I think, and has taken a strong approach at building characters, giving us reasons to like these people and therefore root for them.
To keep going.
Yes, to keep
to keep your interest. I mean, there has to be something that draws you to go take the time to see a movie, to buy a comic book. It's all that, to really be involved, to where it's like you have a personal investment in this because you really care about its character building.
Mm-hmm.
And if they don't have that, then are you going to continue reading and watching?
Right,
Probably
exactly.
Not.
No,
There's
absolutely
enough other things
not.
to distract you with time-wise and your money.
And with things being so expensive nowadays too, it's really got to be somewhere you're like, okay, I'm really into this, where I'm going to invest what little money I have.
Right. I have to see this on a big screen. I can't just watch it at my home and download it illegally. I'll actually go and spend the $12.50 or $15, whatever it is, to see a movie now because it's so crazy. But I want to see it on the huge screen with the surround sound speakers, where it's like a completely immersive experience, as opposed to just, I watched it, it was pretty good.
Right. Now DC they've definitely faltered. I think they jumped into everything far too late, or they've taken too much time to try and build their main characters, to where visually, I mean, I've always been a fan of the very stark, cold colors, like how Tim Burton was really doing back in the early 90s.
Right.
I always appreciated that style of cinematography, which they've almost in a way continued with Christopher Nolan and the current approaches. The problem is that now they're rushing so much. We have no build on these characters at all. They're trying to rush to catch up with how DC or Marvel is in their, third or fourth phase of DC's just getting going and trying to get themselves to right now where Marvel's already at.
Yeah.
They're jamming so much into a movie where, I don't give two shits about The Flash. I don't care about the rendition they're doing for Aquaman. I'm not interested in it as much, which is a shame because I'm such a huge DC fan initially.
Yeah.
But the MCU has done so much more, so much better at approaching it.
Yeah, I mean, you touched from the 90s up until now, and so Tim Burton's, Batman Begins and all that were fantastic. I remember the way they marketed it was just they put the bat signal everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't even say anything. There wasn't even a preview of that movie.
Yeah.
So when you went to go see it, you had no idea what to expect. And whereas nowadays I only watch one preview, usually a year out before the movie happens, and I won't watch anything else because marketing wants to absolutely ruin this movie for you.
Yeah.
So I won't. I won't.
Right. They show every moment that would be worth seeing, and then it's like you see the movie, it's like, well, I've already seen it.
It's like you
Well,
put
yeah,
3 or 4
Deadpool-
trailers
yeah.
together and you've already watched the entire
Deadpool
movie.
was an hour and a half movie, and they had 17 minutes worth of new footage that they gave you. So you basically blew 17 minutes of it. But yeah, I mean, and Marvel hasn't always gotten it right, because Punisher series early, or the Punisher movies early on.
As in which one?
Right, so, but when they introduced, the Iron Man movie, I think that was their first movie, and they figured out how to make it into this big huge thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, Batman, the Christopher Nolan Batman movies, I absolutely love.
Right.
I don't even look at that as like the new DC, because I look at, unfortunately now, what the new DC compared to what they're trying to do, they're basing off of the Marvel thing, and they
mm-hmm.
I think they should do their own thing. I think I think that's the only problem with it. But yeah, I love my comic book movies.
We'll be right back after these ads. Nick here from Dan and Nick's Used Guitar Emporium. Not heard about us yet? Well, you now have. Come on down where you can find yourself some expertise advice on used musical equipment. The best in industry knowledge. Airbrush. Celery pre-stretched on the back, too. New strings now. Basses don't need to be re-strung. True professionals is what we do. In this very rare no-string guitar, I thought the amps were meant for holding beers.
That's where it's caught on fire. It's got character.
Not black. Come on down. Dan and Nick's Used Guitar Emporium.
Coming April 28th to the Tudor Lounge in Buffalo, New York. An amazing evening of 4 bands, 4 original genres. Rock coming at you.
And now time for Truth with Tony.
It turns out that 3 is the amount of times you can suck on your dentist's finger before she stops believing that you're doing it accidentally.
That was Truth with Tony. And now back to the Nick and Dan show.
So bringing it back around to music. Mario, I've known you're playing for a very long time.
I'm so sorry.
Funny enough,
I apologize for that. But
I actually came across a flyer where it was me, Groundless, and Billy Horn's old band, Hanging All.
Mm-hmm.
They were playing outside of the ice cream place over on Pine Avenue there.
Oh, shit.
What, Johnny's or something?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Oh, yeah.
So we're talking like 2000.
A long time ago, back in the old days,
Back in the
before
old-
electricity.
That's right, we used to have to walk uphill 3 miles both ways.
We had to
In
make
bare
our
feet.
guitars out of trees. But I started playing when I was pretty young. And when I first started playing in bands, there wasn't a lot of other people that played bass. So often I ended up playing with a lot of people that were older than me. I would be the kind of... I definitely gained a lot of experience because I was the person that didn't have any experience.
Mm.
So I had a lot of people that taught me things about anything from music theory, just how to have command of your instrument. And one of the main things I learned early was working on more like the technical thing of being able to make your hands do what you hear inside of your head to be able to transmit that through an instrument. So, and a lot of it just people be like, hey, you know, you want to jam? I got this gig, or I have this going on, and I learned pretty early the power of yes. Just like, you know, like Jim Carrey and the Yes Men. Would you like to do this? Yes. Would you like to do this? Yes. If you do it and it doesn't work out, that's a lot of things in life. But if you never try, I know a lot of people that like, oh, I want to do this, I'd like to gig more, I'd like to play more. I'll be like, well, so-and-so contacted me about this and that, you know, I can't do it because I'm already gigging that night. Would you like to do it? Well, yeah, I can't, but I've tried to eliminate as much of the I can't. But that's why there's not a lot of other hobbies. For me, because you spend a lot of time. It's like when you agree to do these things, then you have to, you know, take a little time and try to learn people's songs and go up and not completely butcher them in front of people.
Right.
You know, look like a, you know, great person.
Yeah, it's the last thing you want to do, man.
Yeah, especially if someone, you know, if they entrust their music to me, I don't want to go up and have me be the person that makes it bad. I want to be the person that, like, oh, hey, I didn't know you don't usually play with this band. Like, I couldn't tell. Then I've done all right.
Right.
You know?
Nice.
And then you just get into... I started getting into more music that's like every person can get. Like you could hear it and you could actually walk away humming a melody. There would be something for you to remember as opposed to like, yeah, man, they played great and there was a lot of wicked parts and they were doing this and that, but do you remember any songs?
Gotcha.
Where now, like, one of the first things when I first saw Gus play is like, I remember the next day or two there was parts of their songs that I had stuck in my head. That to me is a good song.
So you're looking for that hook.
That's right, something that people can remember. Because it's easy to put your hands on an instrument and make noise and make stuff, but to have something that someone remembers, and it's like you were saying, like with a lot of the movies and stuff that you like, the DC and the Marvel stuff, like a lot of it, to have something where you're invested, where you really want to go see that.
Right.
Something that draws you in, whether it's character development for a film or a comic series, or a good, you know, a vocal line in a song, something that makes you remember, whether it's a lyric, or could just be how the melody flows or how the instruments go together. And I think that's why the power of like Nirvana and stuff and all that, when that stuff really exploded, because people think it's simple to play simple, and it's not. To make something that someone can hear once and remember is a true art unto itself. And the music that was out before that, you had your hair metal bands and all that, which was great. You know, I loved a lot of that stuff, and there's pictures of me actually wearing pants and having, you know, blown out hair, and I think I had some white hair in a lot of these, so I'm sure someone's going to show something later, like whoever you are, probably Mark Train. But anyway, you know, when that music came out and the whole, like, the grunge thing and stuff, where it was more, a lot of it was introspective and had the certain emotional context, but, like, it would be a simpler music. So, to me, it would help accentuate what the singer was singing, the emotion they were trying to convey. A lot of that Nirvana stuff, and that one of the reasons I think that album was so, between the band and, you know, the producer and everything, just everything that came together with that was just the emotional impact. Like some of the mellower songs on there, Something's in the Way, some of these other songs like this. I mean, I remember hearing that, and as soon as it came on, I literally froze, and I just got goosebumps thinking about it right now.
Right.
Just that, when that came on, that's a powerful song, or anything else. When you think of it, and it takes you back to that moment when you heard it, and your body has a physical reaction, whether it's nausea, goosebumps, whatever it is, tears, happiness, to me, that's amazing. And Gus there's a lot of things in his writing where those ideas that he has, and he brings people in to help him create that, that's what he has. He's a very powerful songwriter, and it's one thing that, like, a lot of people, I see a lot of bands. There's not many bands that I remember much about them, because you see so many bands. We talk about, and they have 5 bands on a bill, 8 bands on a bill. How do you remember this and that? But every once in a while, you'll see a certain band or a certain song or a certain thing, and you're like, that's what's stuck in my head.
Absolutely.
And a lot of the stuff that Gus has put together has that quality to it. I have people that will be like, I heard you do band, and I really liked it, and I like this and that, and it's always this and this with the song. It's not like, oh, man, your bass playing is great, or the drumming is awesome, or this and that. It's something to do with the song, and I remember, like, this part of it really got me. This part, like, I heard it, and it made me think of, and if you can create something that makes people personalize it to their situation, you know, not like I can hear one of your songs. I may not know that it's about this and this happened to you last week at work right before you wrote the song.
Right.
But to me, it's like it connects to me. We're like, okay, well, last week I had this happen. But if I can empathize with that song and kind of have it personalized to me, it may have nothing to do with what you wrote the song about.
Right.
But that to me is a skill that is so hard to come by. A lot of people can put chords together and, you know, knock out some stuff and sing pretty.
True.
And that's great.
Mm-hmm.
But if you can do something to actually draw someone in and that experience they have, like when you brought up like the Fleetwood Mac and the Led Zeppelin, like you hear some of those songs, and as soon as it comes on, whenever how you first heard that song or that takes you right to that.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the songs you'd have like they have that quality, and that's one of the reasons like when Gus asked me to, you know, come down and work on stuff, I was like, yeah, when and where. You know, because that's the thing, is just trying to be able to captivate someone with that, where it personally resonates with you. That's one of the main things about music to me.
I like it.
Hell yeah.
Now, the Seattle scene seems to be kind of something at the top that keeps coming up. So,
Because we're old.
I always
Back in the 90s, if this came out, kids, this was hot stuff.
I always like to bring it up because we look at the Seattle scene from the early 90s, even bleeding back into the late 80s when a lot of these bands really started to get going.
Sure, Soundgarden.
And you had some drastically different styles of music coming out from one city. You had, you know, Nirvana that was, for lack of a better description, I wouldn't even call them grunge, I would call them California punk, or like that West Coast punk almost.
Right. Mm-hmm.
You had Alice in Chains that was very melodic, very plotted out, and constantly be dueling vocals to really make that doubled haunting sound almost. You had Mudhoney that was much more... There was a lot more going on in their songs, I felt like. It was a lot more... I don't want to say noise because it wasn't noise, it was music, but there was a lot more going on in their songs than any different time.
Textures, man.
Yes. And you
had like Bubba and Love Bone in a band where it was almost like a modern Queen. Between like the piano, the vocal harmonies and stuff, and just the range of music they could have. Which, because I know Bruce Wojcik, Love Bone fans to the end, brother. Just so much. They had almost like the glam, like the 70s thing they brought in the style, and like where when Andrew Wood would perform, you could watch many of the documentaries they have on there, but like for him it didn't matter if it was a crowd of 10 or 10,000. He performed the same.
Right.
And that's the thing, like there was, and even this area has a huge varieties of music and bands you could go see on any given night.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, it's one thing I've always liked about the local scene is that it's so broad. You've got your hardcore metal scene, you've got your blues, your punk, your pop, and hip hop even. Hip hop I've noticed has a really
there's a big hip hop scene.
Strong, found a lot of talent in it. And then you've got your different varieties of rock music, you know. I mean, you've got whatever the hell you want to call it, some Priory. We're rock, that's all about that we know.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, you've got everything, and it's cool to see that. But going back to Seattle, if you had to gravitate towards one particular band, I know Nirvana has come up repetitively. Now, would Nirvana be the band that you would gravitate towards as far as your, per se, favorite of that era, or might you go towards something else?
I think out of all the grunge ones, I think Nirvana was but that first album, Nevermind, was great. In Utero, I liked it, but it wasn't such impact. You know, wasn't an impact like Nevermind was. Pearl Jam 10, one of my favorite, is a fantastic album. Vitalogy I liked a lot, but then it kind of all fell off from there. Soundgarden, I only liked like 2 songs from Soundgarden. That was one of those ones where I know, grunge blasphemy for not, appreciating.
Well, Soundgarden is kind of a band that's like a love or hate thing. I know a lot of people like, I love Nirvana, I love Pearl Jam, and then they're either or like, no man, you have to listen to Soundgarden. That's like the main thing, and they were technically challenging because they did have kind of like the odd time signature stuff, and he did have like he had such a wide range. Chris Cornell, just such a piece.
But
a lot of times, like when you do like the higher singing, some people can't stand that. Like some people look at bands like bands like Rush and Coheed and Cambria,
Well,
like some of these other bands, like when they have a really high voice, like that turns a lot of people off. And I know a lot of people.
Rusty Chain and Jesus Christ Pose were probably one of my two favorite.
Right.
You know,
Seeing their songs like Outshined, and they had so many good songs, and his solo stuff was like Can't Change Me and all that stuff. Just so good, but it's a more involved music.
Yeah.
It's not as easy to digest. Like when you hear like the Nirvana songs, like, and I think that's part of the craft in them because you didn't have to have a lot going on for there to be a lot going on.
Right, it was real clean, progressive chord structure. Nothing real fancy about it, but just well structured.
Even the album Bleach and stuff, it was just it was a much lower production and stuff, and it was a grittier sound, but you could hear the songwriting. It was simple structures, and his voice was captivating because his voice and a lot of great singers that you hear, which is some people talk about, some people don't, but a lot of singers that you hear that are really great have had very traumatic lives. And when the emotion that they put forth, say like a Trent Reznor, a Tori Amos, Lane Staley from Alice in Chains, Kurt Cobain, so many that you could hear, at least I can, I know a ton of other people can too. You hear that tragedy, just that emotion that they pour into it, like it could be the last moment they have, and they have to get that out. And that does make for some spectacular music. It's just sad because so many, look at a lot of bands and a lot of the people that meet the tragic ends are your vocalists. And that to me, that's the bridge between the band and the audience, is your vocalist.
Because that's the one thing that everybody has a voice.
Yeah.
Everybody can identify with that one.
Everyone sings along. Not everyone's like just listens to a bass part and goes, you know what part of that song is my favorite? Do 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 do. But they're like, yeah, that's the stuff you remember. But there's a lot of times there's such tragedy and pain, or whatever emotional push that's behind that. Then you hear some people that sing with more like a happiness, like a CeeLo. Or Pharrell, or a lot of other people, like the joy that comes out of them, even somebody like an older like Bobby McFerrin, or different people like that, just the emotion that pours out of certain people. I mean, that's a lot of times that's the magic that some people don't think of. I think that's what made Nirvana stuff blow up so big. When you heard his voice, like the end, Smells Like Teen Spirit, just certain things, just like goosebumps again. Just those certain things, which is kind of that intangible thing that. You're like, I like this song, I like this and that.
Even now, if you want to put like a modern spin on it, you could go with a cat like Bruno Mars. You know, who is just a phenomenal musician by himself.
Positive
has
cat.
That, not even just positive, just everything he says has emotion behind it.
Yeah.
I like
and you can feel it.
Yeah. He's really good. His Super Bowl appearance was...
that
was excellent.
Yeah.
That was truly excellent.
Him and Prince were probably my two favorite, I think.
Oh, yeah. There's been a lot of good Super Bowl performances.
Right.
I mean, they've been doing pretty
Even
well
Lady
the past couple of
Gaga.
years.
I mean, a lot of people hated Lady Gaga for her performance.
Listen, I like Lady Gaga.
I love Lady Gaga. I think she's genius.
She really is.
I mean, how many people do you know that can just randomly work their name into almost every song and it'd be like, oh, that's okay.
Right.
Gaga. I'm like, I wish I could do that.
Right.
Nick Lucino.
Ryan James Dio did it with Rainbow.
He did.
You know, there's a rainbow. And in almost every album, there's some mention of a rainbow in there. But where she does it with her name and just... She's like, to me, she's like a modern Madonna, except for her vocal talent and musical talent is leagues beyond.
Oh, God, yes.
Yeah.
Because you see the videos when she was younger and stuff, and just playing piano and singing, and like, she's a monstrous talent. People are like, oh, she's a hack. It's like, really? Watch this.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, she's a hack.
No,
she's amazingly talented.
Very talented.
Look how many people that connect with her. That's millions of people.
Oh, yeah.
That is not just, this was a marketing thing. No. I mean, a lot of it was a big push, sure, but she's extremely talented.
I mean, she does write some... I mean, obviously there are some songs that aren't always fully relatable, but she does write a lot of relatable stuff. Like, the one song I do like by her is Hair, where she talks about how her mother used to cut her hair when she was sleeping, which was her, like, she loved her hair, and she didn't have control over who she was as a child, so as she got older, she got to decide how her hair was cut and everything, and that really spoke to me. I'm like, that's a really... cool way to take a story that everybody can kind of identify with at some point, because we were all kids. Our parents decided how our hair was cut, how we were dressed, how we looked, even though it wasn't always how we wanted it to be. But Mom and Dad got the say.
Right.
As we got older, though, we're like, no, I want my personality, my identity to shine through. This is how I want to appear.
Yeah, once you've experienced the world a little bit, it's like, hey, that's not just because that would be their choice. That doesn't mean that's the choice for me.
Right.
And that spoke to you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I think is one of the main powers of like a great song.
Right.
When you hear it and you relate it to you.
Yeah. Well, it leads back to what you were saying before with that hook. You know, it actually digs its hooks into you, and you can relate to it.
When did blues travelers say, the hook brings you back?
Yeah.
There you go.
I'm sorry.
No,
I'm so
great.
sorry.
That's a great song, too. And that harmonica.
Oh, I love harmonica.
All right.
Now a song for you from At the Helm.
Like a car racing to the sun. Grind the gear hung where I'm all wrong. Living fast when I'm on the gas with what you say and what you do. Killers creep with the moon don't show. Grab my hand, baby, go, go, go. Leave the scenes where the murder leaves. I need you, please, I need you. And the great eyes, you. And the great eyes, you. And the great eyes, watching out for me and you. And the great eyes, you. And the great eyes, you. And the great eyes, watching out for me and you.
State of the music industry. Let's start off local, about venues that we have to play. There's not many like there used to be back in the day.
No.
Back in my day.
Used to go by old timers. But we were talking earlier about how you could basically take a rock, throw it in any direction, and within a few blocks of that, there would be places to play it.
Yeah.
Oh, this place is down the street from here. Stars is right down the street from Shark Club. Then there's this. You go around the corner, there's Uptowns, there's Paul Mary's.
There's the
this
Stardust.
Right. There's so many places where now, and that's just in Niagara Falls, which is its all small little environment there. But even Buffalo, a lot of places that, legendary clubs like Continental, it's been gone so long with places that I miss so much. You could have so many places that just are not there.
The waiting room's now gone. That just recently happened.
Just recently.
That was important. I liked that layout. It was a nice little place. I mean,
so it's
show place. How many shows we all play there, and
yeah.
Nowadays it's a hit or miss if it's going to be open or not kind of thing, which is too bad because I liked playing there back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the newer setup, it's good. I mean, it's really nice in there. It's missing something though, like that old gutter feeling. You know, you walk in, it's dirty, it's grimy. Yeah. It's like, shit, I better make sure I've got a bathroom buggy to go downstairs because you never know what might happen.
Did I get my tetanus shots? Cause
it's almost too clean now, you know. I did feel that when we walked in the front doors that place.
It's like,
what happened to the old death floor?
Yep. But, I mean, the venues are so thin and few between as far as where you can play as an original act. That's the thing. There are still a lot of bars out there that play live music. Still not as many as there used to be, but most of them are gravitating towards that cover style. Yeah. We want cover songs, only what people have already heard 40, 50 times on the radio, or they're gravitating towards tribute acts, where we're looking for you to play the music of one, maybe two specific bands.
Right,
I
or
know,
you do like a certain era where it's like, okay, well, we're like a 90s tribute.
Yep.
Right.
And you do that, or you see like a lot of the bands, they'll do either a genre of music, and it's like, oh, well, we're like we're a grunge tribute, or we're a punk tribute, or we're a time frame going, or just one band.
Right. Or like I know
maybe
you
like
guys
a dual tribute and stuff.
Yeah, like you guys with Scott Taggart, you guys do Stone Temple Pilots, and you also do a lot of Tragically Hip as well.
Yeah, we did a lot of different stuff to it. So it was sometimes it's limiting when you pick one band because there's only so many hit songs.
Mm-hmm.
True.
And then some bands, a lot of their other songs, like they're really good and you love playing them, but okay, well this band has a lot of slow songs.
Yeah.
And that's when people leave, or people haven't heard, oh, that band has a lot of hit songs. Yeah, but some of them are so similar, like you can't play Big Empty right back to back with Creep.
Yeah.
They're very similar.
Yeah.
So,
exactly.
And it's a lot of bands, and even a lot of places that used to have cover bands, like a lot of places don't even have that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's really become limited. There's so many places you can go online and pull up any artist, and you could get a web stream of they did this concert here, or you can could buy a DVD, or you can go on places and stream a whole concert.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, this way you're not fighting through a crowd in a place to park and overpriced beer and I have to go to Rochester to see this show. Dude, I can pull it up on my big screen TV and watch it at home and bring some friends over and have a great time. So it's like technology has done a lot of great things, but it's also taken that to where, well, I don't have to do all that and I can still experience my favorite band.
Right, I mean, like last summer I went and saw Metallica in Chicago with my wife. 3 weeks later, guess what concert was available for purchase and download for audio on Metallica's website?
Mm-hmm. Right.
That playing in Chicago. I'm like, well, son of a bitch, that cost me almost $1,200 to fly us both out there, hotel, food and everything.
Right.
I could have just waited and spent like $10 and...
But you wouldn't have had the experience. It just would have been another day to see Metallica on screen. I mean, this way you spent a weekend, you went out, you experienced the culture in Chicago, you experienced the culture with the people in the crowd in Metallica.
Right. So, no, I mean, trust, I'm still all for going out and seeing live shows.
Oh, yeah.
I love not just being part of the experience, but the camaraderie. When you go out and you see a band that you really like, or you're going out to check out a band for the first time, you meet some of their fans, you hang out with the other fans, and you can talk about the different experiences that you've experienced by going out to see this band live. Like, I remember one time I saw Kiss over at it's still HSBC Arena, and people were partying out in the parking lot. Everybody's in their best Gene Simmons or Paul Stanley makeup. We're all drinking, passing joints all around, and just having a really fun time and meeting a lot of cool people. When you have this streaming experience, you miss out on that. I mean, yes, it definitely has the convenience, which is spectacular because not everybody obviously has the ability to go to these shows. Some people either are financially strapped or
it could be a band that doesn't even play live anymore.
Right.
Exactly.
They're barely ever out. If they do,
it could be a
it's...
band that doesn't even exist anymore.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and it's awesome, but then you go back to the local level, too. It's like you said, the experience of going and seeing a band and stuff. But, like, where are a lot of original bands playing now? Because there doesn't seem to be, like, there's tons of ways you can learn how to play an instrument.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's tons of, videos and instructionals. You can take lessons. You can do all this stuff. But, like, when I remember we were all coming up, there was a lot of places to play at. So you would learn, you could learn the craft of being on stage.
Yep.
True.
And learn a bit. Or now, I know a lot of people do, like, the, web streams and stuff like that to have people see your band. But it just seems a real challenge for people to find places to actually, okay, I'm in a live band and I want us to play somewhere.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one thing I do feel bad for a lot of musicians, especially if you're coming up younger and stuff, for places for you to actually perform at to get your your confidence on stage and your
right.
presence.
Well, I mean, especially the confidence. It's one thing to do it in front of a camera, but if you're in front of actual live people who can reach out and touch you, tell you you suck, tell you you rock, whatever.
Right. Tell you you're great,
that's
spit in your face, whatever it is.
That's a whole different aspect.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then just not even that, but just the atmosphere of the temperature in the room, how the stage sounds, the way the lights are going to affect you or bounce off certain things. It's a completely
all I hear is hi-hat.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So hopefully we're all starting and stopping at the same time.
Right.
And it just forced you to be a better musician. Because, like, we've all played the shows where, God, the sound is awful on stage. I can't hear a fucking thing. It's just, oh, there's the hi-hat. That's my timing. All right. I have to rely on my proudness as a musician and me knowing the song to figure out this is where this part starts, this is where this part starts, and hopefully this is where we all stop. And it really does force you to be better at what you do, what your craft is.
Right.
So, there's not that much opportunity out there anymore. The bars aren't there, the people aren't there even.
Yeah, a lot of people seem like they're not willing to go out to do that. And I understand there's like really hard DUI laws.
Yes.
And maybe if they started some shows sooner
mm-hmm.
and a few things too. But if anybody has some suggestions, then let us know, because we're always trying to find places to
come across that
to go
too.
see other bands at, and for us to have our bands play.
Yeah, and I'm sure you guys have experienced the same thing, playing, just trying to get people over that Niagara-Erie County line.
Mm-hmm.
It's a pain in the ass. It's like trying to pull teeth.
That's why you have to play both places.
Exactly.
It's just like, the people that live close to here are more likely to come to here,
mm-hmm.
and then the people that live closer to the place that's in Erie County are more likely to go there. And I understand that. There's times on Saturday night I may not want to be coming home at 2:30 in the morning from going and seeing another band, if especially since I'm out often enough when I'm playing and filming in bands and stuff. And a lot of people, they have jobs that they have to work weekends, and they have kids, and they have a lot of responsibilities to juggle.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, live stream versus playing venues. I know a lot of bands nowadays, both bigger and even more on maybe just above the local scale, where they're more of a regional powerhouse, are starting to offer more of the option to either be at the venue or live stream it for a certain fee. And then even I've seen a few where the performance is fully online. Like, they might have a few friends there in the room, mm-hmm. but they're mostly pushing for the online presence. What are you guys' feelings on that? The pros and cons of playing the physical venue versus playing the digital venue?
I think you have to do you have to do both. As far as the regional goes, because that's as much as I know.
Mm-hmm.
We're all weekend warriors for the most part, where we're working 9 to 5s and then dealing with some sort of social life, and now you have to put the rest of that towards music. So from that aspect of it, the thing that I think where it's going, and it seems to be, is that you still play your live shows. You find those venues that are still out there,
mm-hmm.
And you get as many people as you can, which is a lot harder nowadays, even with Facebook and their algorithms.
Right.
So what you still end up having to do as well is, the problem I have with the local live streams is that it sounds terrible. Like, I see, someone just puts a phone in front of their face, their whole band's playing, and all I hear is a warble.
Exactly.
So you have to not look at the live show as a live stream. You have to almost do your live stream now as its own thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, one of the first things I saw was a Streetlight Manifesto, probably about 10 years ago.
Wow.
He put out a video where they went into a studio and they played it live, and then they released it on YouTube. Some of my favorite, when you're drinking and want to listen to great music live, this is like the go-to. Say Anything from that emo band did the same exact thing, but instead of doing it from a studio aspect, do it from a live stream aspect.
Mm-hmm.
So get a board that sounds amazing, rent out an area, a room, a studio, and set up your cameras all around it and live stream it, but make it like a show, like make it how you would be performing live. And that's the problem, like you had mentioned, is that you're not playing in front of anybody, so you're not feeding off energy. You have to create that energy.
Right. All you do is push out, but nothing comes back to you.
So when whatever you push out, you have to make sure it's not annoying. So because you only have that viewer that'll look at it and go, it's gone.
Right.
Like
Short attention span.
So you have to be constantly in this constructive criticism of yourself to make sure that what you're putting out is what you want to put out, and make sure that it's reaching as many people as possible. So I think playing live shows is still 100% the thing you got to do. You got to do that, that hustle. And then the other part of it is getting more with what people are doing now, or thinking outside the box, which is hosting your own live stream event. And in that way you have, and it's not like there've been a couple that I looked at where, people that they like buy tickets in advance. It's like it's almost like Twitch. Like, I don't know if you guys play video games at all, but I watch these Twitch gamers, and they're hilarious. They're entertaining. They're doing what they love. People are giving them money, donating, and while they're doing this, and they're appreciating it. And it's this whole back and forth. It's this conversation while they're doing something that they love. And I think that's what music has to do as well. I think you have to keep playing your music, realize that times are changing, and make it where you're performing, loving what you're doing. People are saying, hey, and also recognizing them. Like, when they're like, love that song, what you're doing, and then you recognize that, and you literally say, so you stop everything and say, yes, appreciate that so-and-so.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going on next. Here's the next song.
Right. Well, I mean, with you saying that, with the whole age of social media coming through, I mean, the record industry as we know it is pretty much dead, how it was in the past. So now it's moving into more of a social thing where you would have to start live streaming and more of that one-on-one interaction via the internet with your fan instead of having them center stage in front of you at the venue.
Right. Yeah.
Now, what do you guys think about the... So we're going to talk about the concert goer here for a moment, the person that goes out to a show. What are your guys' feelings on the person who sits there with a phone, per se, or a camera, and just videotapes the whole thing? So pretty much they almost watch the show through their camera. What do you guys... Because I know that some musicians are, no, I love it. I mean, they're still there. They're paying towards it. They're in the room, and they're helping to capture what I'm doing. Other musicians are very opposed to it. I mean, even me, I guess you'd call me a Luddite, somebody who's kind of stuck in the past. Me, I'm not somebody who usually will sit there with a camera and just watch that. I like actually interacting with the moment, and you might see me try and capture 30 seconds or so to help promote my friend's band or something, like, hey, this is going on right now, come out. But beyond that 30 seconds, my phone's in my pocket, and I'm trying to interact with the band that's on stage. What's your guys' feelings on that?
I've gone back and forth on it because I've seen recently Tool are very opposed to anyone having cameras out.
Mm-hmm.
Danzig again very opposed to it, and but it's when you watch videos of a live concert and you're watching the person have their phone up, they usually have a smile on their face.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the reason they're doing it isn't for piracy or to capture in a negative way. They're actually really loving the moment.
Yeah, they want to share the joy that
and
they're
like,
having.
this is the most amazing thing I'm watching right now.
Yeah.
So I get that. what's really annoying when you play live and you look out and you see people looking at their phones.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the other.
They're not looking at it to film. They're looking
just
at it
looking
for
at
they're
the phone.
texting someone or doing whatever.
So I could see why you wouldn't want to have phones in a venue, but then again, you're not good enough, or something's happening where they're not connecting with you.
Well, the only problem I have with it, like if someone's taking pictures, I think that's awesome. And if someone's shooting video, it's great too. But the only problem is, how many times have you seen video that someone shot on their phone and the sound quality is so poor? Because I mean, there's so much volume coming at this little tiny microphone. Unless you have an additional microphone on it that can handle that, which I've seen one or two people have, and then it sounds good.
Yeah.
So if you're putting it out and the visual's great and the sound is good, I'm all for it. But so many of them, it's like as soon as you hit the sound, but the click for sound, and then you're like, it's
Right.
That's the only part I don't like. Other than that, when they capture the performance and you can actually hear things well, that's great. Or when it's still photos, by all means. I think it's awesome because you get to share that moment. That's why certain photographers, like I try to have come and do live events like Meredith Snow, have her come out and do it because she's one of those people that just has an eye, or Lee Hoffman. Certain people, like when they shoot your band, you can see what other people see when you're, and it's awesome because they capture certain moments where I just look and it's like, man, we are looking pretty all right. I'm sure you had to take 500 pictures to get those two awesome ones, but those are great, and they both take great pictures, and there's tons of other photographers and stuff that do it, and videographers and stuff, and it's great to be able to share that experience, even if it's only years later with yourself.
Yes.
And if you post it on other things too, it's like I've had times where I've seen, you guys or other people I know that have posted pictures or something. It's like, you know what, the next time that band plays, I'm going to go see them. I've gone and seen them. It's really good because it helps draw you in. Like that is the one nice thing about social media. It's like you can share an experience with someone, and that might have them click on your page and like your band or come to actually see you, or listen to a song, or and it's awesome. I just have a thing where it's like the sound quality is usually like really bad.
Yeah. No, I mean we got a couple of things. Like our first show when we covered California Love, it was an amazing experience on stage. We want to relive it, and a couple people had really good video, but the sound quality was shit.
Yeah. That's the only thing. And how is something this small going to capture like a whole ton of wattage coming at it?
Exactly. I mean, especially because it was at one of the local venues who's got a massive fucking system in it.
Right.
But still, it's the same thing. You got a microphone this big, bringing this much noise. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah. The ones that have great sound on them, it's like it's always a pleasure to see it because it's like, oh, I can actually see it and actually hear it.
Right.
Where it's the other ones, it's like you click on the sound and you're like, please be good, and every once in a while you're like, hey. Yeah. They must have got a feed from the board or did something.
Well,
sounds great.
A lot of our live videos.
So here,
are the same
everybody, anybody that's watching this episode, if we can give you some feedback or some tips, stand towards the back of the room.
Yeah.
If you're going to video us and post it up on Facebook or anything later on, it tends to be a little bit better.
Right.
A little bit better. You're gonna, you're gonna do your band friends a huge favor by just standing in the back of the room. Nobody wants to see what stupid facial expression we've got on our face at that given moment.
Especially me.
Yeah, they want to check out.
I've seen a couple doozies.
Right.
What is wrong with you? Are you sick?
Right. Don't feel bad that you're leaving.
There?
That's right.
Don't feel bad that you're leaving the front of the stage. Pretend you're going to the bar to get a beer.
It's okay.
Or when you come up front, just take pictures.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's awesome because those close-up ones where your camera's right up there and like you're taking a still photo, that's great.
Yeah.
No videos in the front row.
So photos up front, yes.
Yeah.
Video up front,
video. Photos up front,
suggestion.
video in back.
There you go.
Just some suggestions for all of our friends out there.
I was just about to say, just like a mullet.
That's right. Business in the front,
party in the back. There you go. So remember, when at a show, if you got your phone out, go with the mullet rule. The mullet rule. There you go.
And now for a word from our sponsors.
Is the banana in your pocket losing its appeal? Not quite as firm and ripe as it once was? Afraid your lady's about to split? Will a capuchin monkey walk away in disgust? Is it about time to consider making nut bread with your mushy fruit? Fear not, it's Bob Paulman's potassium supplement. Side effects include but are not limited to spots on your peel, pale yellow color, loss of erection, opening from the wrong end, low blood pressure, high blood pressure, no blood pressure, unwanted satanic friends, divorce, marriage, polygamous marriage, premature browning, attraction of fruit flies, spontaneous human combustion, feeling of spiritual enlightenment, and finally overwhelming feeling of wanting to add yourself to your favorite breakfast cereal. Bob Paul Potassium Supplement. Good for you.
This is always a big topic anytime we have any discussions with any other musicians. Proper etiquette.
Yes.
Would you guys like to give your feedback into how to be appropriate? The proper ways to approach different things.
Well, I mean, especially not just based because you guys are also in a band, but because you guys are old hat in a band.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
because we're old, is what he's saying.
Yes.
Hey, Gussie!
Listen here,
Get the walker out!
Crippled old bastards. But I mean, for the new generation coming up, you know, what should they strive to be as a band? Just not musically solid.
Well, a general rule which should guide go with the rest of life is, if you treat people how you want to be treated, a lot of things go a lot easier. Would you want someone to yell and scream at you? Maybe. I know I don't.
Nah.
You know, if you yell and scream at people and then you're surprised that you don't get the reaction out of them that you'd like.
He just doesn't listen to what I say!
Well, if you're yelling at me, I'm probably going to not listen to anything and probably tell you something back you don't want to hear either.
Yeah.
But, you know, one of the main things is just treat others how, you know, you'd like to be treated. It's usually a good one.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, it's a working relationship, no matter, you know, bands are family, they're friends, but at the end of the day, you're putting in time to make something for people, and so unfortunately you're on the clock, and you have to be aware of that, and you can't bring, you know, you can't just come into a room and put your feet up and take your shirt off and be like, all right, let's do this, guys, and like, really?
Unless you're a hot chick.
Right, that's why.
Unless you're a hot dude too. I mean, you know.
But I mean, I've run across where people get very, very comfortable really, really quickly, and you know, there's always got to be this level of professionalism and empathy that's happening, and when you have an argument, it's got to be based in constructive criticism. You can't just say no to say no. You know, you got to say, if you're going to say no, if you're going to say why I don't like something, then you better have, you know, a bunch of reasons why you don't like it, and that way you can compromise and figure stuff out.
Compromise.
You know,
That's a huge one.
I think that's where all bands lie, and then, you know, then when you go into a venue, you better act that same way because you're representing, you know, the band, not just yourself, not just the lead singer or whomever. You're the whole band, so you have to immediately. Everyone should be going over to the sound engineer, introducing and saying, whatever you need, I'll help it. You know, I'll help you out. If there's changeovers happening and you're looking at the clock and there's 5 bands on a bill, and they, for whatever reason, that the person putting the show together didn't backline it, then everybody and their friends should be helping everybody get equipment on and off in a timely manner.
Designate someone as a stage manager will make your life much easier.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because that's the worst thing. I've gone to a couple metal shows, and metal shows, for whatever reason, are the most brutal with changeover times. If you've got 6 bands on a bill and it takes 40 minutes to change over, you know, it should be, you've lost everybody at that point. So
exactly. Well, I mean, you could even say too, like as a band, if you're planning to be on a bill where there's going to be several changeovers, practice that. Put that in your routine.
Right.
You know, I mean, they practice fire drills for a reason to get you
out
of the building.
Time your set. You're set out. Know how to break down your equipment. Try to have someone there to help you. Try to have a simple plan. Just as like if there's 2 areas on the stage, if one band is on the stage coming off, okay, you load over to the right, come off the stage. The other band comes on to the left, and then bring their stuff on.
Exactly.
Like you said, backline your stuff. See if you can share some gear.
Yeah.
Maybe a bunch of people can share some cabinets.
Yeah.
If somebody can share a drum set, you will make every sound man in your life completely happy. If everyone could use one drum set, sound man's dream right there. All you have to do is, you know, change out snare drum, couple cymbals. It's not the same as remiking everything for every band.
Yeah.
Right. So if you could share, you know, find some bands you're buddies with, try to put on some shows. Even if you're not buddies, you could make a lot of friends playing in bands together. Yeah. You know, and if you all help each other out, it makes it better for the person that comes to see you. Because if it's difficult for people to come watch your band, they're going to stop coming and watch your band.
Right, exactly.
And there's nothing worse than playing it. The only thing worse than playing in front of an empty room is playing in front of a room that people don't care.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So if you could make the experience better for the people to come see you, they'll come and see your band at that venue as opposed to another band at another venue. Or just not come out at all.
Absolutely.
Make it easy for people to come see you. And appreciate everyone that comes and sees you. Everyone.
Yeah. Yes.
They could have done 9 million other things with their time, their money, and their resources. And then if they come and see your band, they're the reason that you get to be there.
Oh, absolutely.
Right. And
they're your friends, not your fans. Treat them as your friends because they are.
Mm-hmm.
And personally thank them, too. Not just like... And the one thing I always steer away from is the Facebook post where I try and... I do still post stuff where I try and tag people that I can see. But when it comes to the thank yous after, I try and walk over like, dude, thank you so much for coming out. Because when I try and do the broad spectrum post... Thank you to everybody that came out tonight. You guys are so wonderful. And I try and tag everybody. I always manage to leave a few key people out. And then I always feel like a dickhead afterwards, which I should, because I'm a douchebag. So.
Well, me too.
You fucking bastard.
But always say thank you. You know, two little words we learn as kids that really do go fucking thousands of miles. That few moments. Saying, dude, thank you so much for coming out. Quick fist bump or a high five. It really does go a long way. Be appreciative of people that,
Once you get your gear off the stage and put away, you should be talking to people that came and see you.
Absolutely.
Because they're the ones that make it fun.
Mm-hmm.
Logging stuff in a car and a van and then throwing it on a stage and doing all that. No, that's not really a lot of fun. It sucks.
No, it's definitely
but
not.
When people are there and digging the music and you have a lot of fun with everyone, that's why you have fun. Because there's people that come there and make it fun.
Mm-hmm.
You're supposed to bring the fun, and then they return that energy to you and make it fun for everyone.
Right. Absolutely.
When there's no one there, that's no fun.
I mean, it depends on how many of these you had, I guess, at that point.
I don't know. I've broken equipment from being mad about stuff like that. But
Listen, I can have fun by myself in a room, no problem.
That's not what we're going to show on here, though. Unless you want us to leave the room for a few minutes.
No. Nobody wants to see that. I don't want to see that.
Not at all.
No. You sure, Dan?
Yeah, I'm very sure.
We're co-hosts.
I'm withholding opinion.
We're co-hosts and all.
I may not want to say in front of everybody.
All right, man. It's all right. Well, going back to the whole possible sharing cabinets thing, a couple bands get together. You know, you have a certain amount of equipment on stage just to make changeover easy. Do yourself a favor. Do the other bands a favor. Do the sound engineer a favor. Turn down your goddamn volume. Don't dime the amps out.
Everybody. Yes.
You know, there's a sound engineer and microphones on the cabinets for a reason.
Right.
You don't need to crank that bitch to 11.
Yeah. If you have more than one cabinet, don't stack them so they point at the vocal microphones.
Yes.
Then you wonder why you can't turn your singer up and then no one can hear your singer. There's nothing worse than not hearing a singer.
Right.
Unless your singer's horrible, then just turn them down.
Yes.
But, stage volume should definitely be... The lower you can make it, let the PA system do the work.
Yeah.
This is old people talking here. Because it's too loud. If you want the sound engineer to make your band sound good, you can't blast him with so much sound that he can't do anything.
Exactly. Right. I mean, gone are the days. Because I remember when most clubs and venues really didn't have much for sound. It was pretty much you were miking the vocals, and that was it. Maybe the kick drum, and you let your half stack do the talking for you.
Ugh.
Now you really don't need all that now with how most places are set up. They've already got a full.
So much better.
They've already got a full lineup of sound gear where you can show up with. I mean, I've seen it plenty of times. Show up, it's like a little fucking 25-watt combo amp, and it sounds just as big as everything else.
Right. And they put it through the PA, and then they control everything. It's not everything bleeding on the vocal mics where you can't hear your singer.
Yeah.
What's the thing you need to hear most? Singer.
Vocals.
They can't make their voice louder.
Mm-mm.
They do not have a volume knob.
They don't.
This is true.
So if they did, when they weren't performing, you just turn it way down.
That would be nice.
You shush. Save that. Save that for rehearsal.
That's probably true.
Right.
Unless you go off what my wife tells me, it's definitely true.
Especially the people that only sing. Especially if you just have the typical lead singer disease. No, I don't play an instrument. I just sing.
Ah, yeah.
Oh, boy. Here we go.
Right, so there's no busy, all right, I got to tune this occasionally. Now it's just, oh, they're not playing. I'm going to talk.
Right.
So that's why you guys insist that I still play guitar.
Yep.
Now I got it.
That's exactly why. It's kind of hard to reel you back in if you don't have a guitar.
It all makes
for
sense
bands,
now.
try to have your sets, like, work out what songs you're going to play. Maybe have a set list. Maybe have some songs where you can actually end one song and then start another one right away, so it's not after every song you have to stop for 5 minutes. Because that makes people crazy.
Absolutely.
When I'm in a band that has to do that, it makes me absolutely bananas.
Yeah.
Right.
So you mean you don't like a 5-minute speech in between every song?
No.
Ah.
Well, ultimately, the people who are there to see you are there to hear your music.
This is true.
Right.
So you
Just
want
pick
them to
pick a
listen
few
to their
spots.
music.
Pick a few spots to talk, not
Yeah.
every
Right.
spot to talk.
No.
Like I know that we're huge advocates of, on our set list, we actually mark where is time for tuning and talking.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So that way it's all, whatever we might be saying isn't planned out, but we know, okay, right there, that's where we're tuning and talking. In between these songs, nope, we're going from this right into this.
Right.
Have a fucking plan.
Now, there's only one band that I've seen live that usually does not come with a set list.
Dreadnecks.
And there's a reason for that. The Dreadnecks, because A, you come for the rockin' fucking good music, and B, you come to see what the hell Grant's going to do on stage. So,
or what type of clothing he's going to take off on stage.
He is an enigma wrapped in a riddle.
He really
Yeah,
is an
he's very
enigma
good.
wrapped in a riddle. So
He's very
the Dreadnecks, as a brand, we'll put it, is half music, half Grant. So they can rock without a set list and do what they want to do.
Well,
Or, you know, we show up one day and the drummer's facing backwards because he just felt like doing it that day.
Yeah, he just wanted to set his kid up backwards.
they're a different band. The cover band I play in, Ultraviolet, that's the same thing. She has a list of songs on the floor, and when one song finishes, she'll pick next because she's very good at reading the crowd.
Mm-hmm.
So the flow of every show is different. So
Yeah.
people come see us, and they might see us 2 weeks in a row or not see us for 2 months, and every time is different because it's not just, oh, well, they did this set into this set.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But the changeover between songs is usually between 15 and 30 seconds because a song will finish, she'll pick one, tell us, and then we'll start.
Right.
So it's never a long time between. But it's the only other band I've seen besides Dreadnecks that does it and can actually do it well.
Yeah.
But because he's very good at reading the crowd, too, to kind of see, well, should this be like a little more upbeat or this and that, or he'll start talking to him. And Amy from Ultraviolet's the same way, where she's very good at, she can read a crowd and be like, you know what, maybe this should be like a little more upbeat rock tune, or maybe this should be some hip-hop or something, and then call it out. And 9 times out of 10, absolutely correct. And then every once in a while, one time out of 10, it's weird because things will happen, and it's usually pretty magical because it'll be like you didn't expect it to go that way and completely change the trajectory of the show, which is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that's a skill in itself. It's just like being good at your instrument or a good vocalist and stuff. Someone that can structure a set or be able to pick songs to kind of dictate the flow of a show. I mean, that's huge, and a lot of people don't think about that. It's like if you have a set list and do that, or if you have that skill that most people don't have to just pick them out of the air.
Right.
It's huge because you can pace all the dynamics and stuff as opposed to just like, we'll just finish and then whatever we play. It sounds like you're at rehearsal. You don't want a live show to be like a rehearsal. You want it to be a magical moment for the people to come see you, so they'll want to come see you again.
Absolutely.
I like it.
But yeah, so for bands, I mean, I just tell people all the time, well, is there a concert you ever saw or a band you've ever gone to see where it's like, or any event where it's like, oh man, I really like how that went. Well, then model your stuff after that.
Right.
You know, you don't always have to reinvent the wheel. You can, you can take something that works and then put your own, personal like little style on it or flash or whatever you want to do. But like, you don't have to try to reinvent things every time. You can just like make things, look at something that's already successful and then kind of gauge what you do.
Right.
Base it on that and then put your own little spin on it.
And the other thing, too, I mean, you want to be as professional as you can. Come prepared. Make sure if you got an active instrument, it's got fresh batteries in it. Make sure you have your cables or backup cables.
Oh, God, yeah.
Maybe
If you're
have
running
some extra
wireless.
drumsticks.
Extra drumsticks.
Maybe
If
have
you're running
some
wireless.
batteries.
Guitar picks.
Maybe bring 2 guitars, 2 basses, whatever, in case something goes wrong.
Or if you're me, bring 5 guitars.
You're
Because
just
why
a
not?
heavy-handed bastard.
Right.
I can't help it.
But I mean, even that, I
I'm
mean,
prepared though. So that's
everybody's got to start somewhere, and I'm not saying you have to go to whatever music store you want to and get the most top-of-the-line thing you can buy.
Oh, God, no.
But just make sure whatever equipment you have
works as
is
good as
in
it can.
functioning condition.
Yes.
Don't leave your stuff in the car in -7-degree weather and then expect it to work the same the next day when you bring it up on stage.
Right.
And just little things like that.
Yeah, take care of your shit, folks.
Yeah.
Take care of your fucking shit.
And
Please.
ripping down on stage is not your time to oil the strings on your guitar or make sure your cables are neatly wrapped exactly the way you want them.
No, rip it off, deal with it afterwards.
Exactly.
Right. Get all your stuff off the stage, then pack it up nice.
Exactly.
Like I know one standard that we have when we're coming off stage, especially for me, is I literally is guitars on the multi-rack guitars, pick them up, drop them off stage. Cables, thrown in a bag off stage, and then I'm out front at the merch table.
Mm-hmm.
It's not your time to organize your stuff perfectly so it's all properly prepared.
Right.
Your main goal is to get off of that stage and make room for the next band.
Coming back to touch on what you said, Gus, you're on the clock.
Right.
Yeah.
You got 45 minutes. 45 minutes. That's what it is.
Yeah.
You know.
Yep, and that 15 minutes in between, that's not just your time. That's both you and the band after you's time to switch over and allow them enough time to get a sound check, if any, and then get things fired back up so the concert goers aren't sitting there going, "Oh, well, I'm kind of bored now. You know, let's check out the bar up the road."
Yeah,
exactly.
Or they
touching
just go home.
Touching on a sound check. Sound check is not your time to noodle on stage.
Yeah, no. And sound check is not a right. It's usually a privilege that sometimes you get.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, if you're lucky.
Yeah. Usually sound check is considered the first 2 songs of your set.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Where,
if you can get bands to share gear, then at least cuts down on that a little bit.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, and use electronic tuners, please.
Yes.
Whether it's a pedal, whether it's a clip-on, anything that does, no one has to hear you going ding, 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 ding.
Yeah, something with a mute button.
Yes.
Oh, God, yeah. You mean you guys don't like the tuning song?
No, I hate the tuning song.
Nah, yeah.
Oh.
No, never liked that one.
No. It's very rarely a fan
Get your little
favorite.
clip-on tuner, whatever you need to do.
Mm-hmm.
You have all that.
Turn your volume down.
Yeah.
Ding, 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 ding.
Should be no tuning through the pieces.
No, ever. Ever. Unless you're going to make it play into a song. Because I've seen that done before where
like
somebody started...
Yep.
Or like, somebody's actually tuning and then they're more proficient than I am at the fucking instrument. Even still out of tune, they'll start to play like some random jam or whatever.
Well,
I've seen that done before, but most of us, let's not kid ourselves, we're not that great at playing our fucking instrument.
No.
So hit the goddamn mute button when you're tuning.
Yes.
Yeah.
Unless you're Jamie Holka. Then Jamie, you do whatever the fuck you want. It's allowed.
Yeah. Yes, he is the master.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell I was paying attention to when I took lessons from when I was little, but apparently I wasn't listening, because whatever I'm doing is not what he's doing. Right. That's for sure.
Or maybe he just didn't teach you what he knew.
Ah, so you're saying the master withheld a couple of secrets?
Yeah.
I mean, it's feasible. Mm-hmm. It's feasible. You can't...
I think he taught you what you needed to know.
Yeah, probably.
And then if you would have needed to know more, you could always go back, but that's not you.
Or there's a good possibility I was stoned.
That could be.
Yeah. It's probably likely.
Chemical enhancement.
Yeah.
Yes, enhancement. Enhancements.
Enhancement.
We'll be right back after these ads. This is Nick here from Dan and Nick's Used Guitar Emporium. Have we told you about the professionalism that we show? Come on down, because we ain't like other big box stores. Do you feel like wanking around at the store for hours and maybe buying a pack of strings? Go right ahead, because unlike the big box stores, we don't fucking give a shit.
We also serve beer at Dan and Nick's Used Emporium.
We care about our customers. And eventually know our shit.
Or go to 12.
Stan's dog is chewed out a little bit. It's got a little bit. We treat everybody professionally.
You obviously don't play rock and roll. Hang on, let's try this out.
And only the best musicians.
You know, I thought that something was out. Alright, let's try that again.
Now you got it. You can try it out.
You can even try out the guitars. But if you want to, you gotta wait in line, because we only have one amplifier.
Everybody, I'm sorry. We just stole the last one. But gear is selling quick. So come down to Dan and Nick's Used Guitar Emporium, and we'll hook you up.
Coming April 28th to the Tudor Lounge in Buffalo, New York. An amazing evening of 4 bands, 4 original genres. Rock coming at you. Also
season?
I don't know.
What happened to the fucking...
We do the clap thing.
New season,
You know, the clap is more so just for like the old real thing with the timer on it, so that you can sync up all the different.
I'm aware.
All right, fine.
No. Nope.
Not going to do it anyway.
Nope.
Fuck you. Ha! I clapped anyway.
You did.
Eat shit and die, motherfucker.
As long as you don't clap like this when you talk.
My friends don't like you. They don't like you.
Oh, the first time I saw that, I was like, no fucking.
Yes.
No fucking.
When I looked at Johnny, I'm like, look, it's you.
No fucking.
She could not respond well to that.
No.
At all. She's got a wingspan like a condor. She'll knock me out before I even get inside.
She is tall.
Long arms. I mean, you try and bob and weave, but still, you make it see you come from miles. Wow!
Right.
Fuck!
Round the outside.
I just found that open.
Oh, shit. Inside the dome piece.
So, Gus, Mario, you guys been around the block a little bit. You guys got any horror stories from shows that you've played? Will it be yourself or something that happened to the band, to you personally?
Well, I can speak for myself. I was playing in, I think it was Mookie Blaylock. We played at a bar, and of course I was too cheap to pay for drinks there, so myself and my good friend Mark Train went to the store and bought beer and realized that the bottles that I got were a different size than the one they sold at the bar. So as the bartender was, the owner was having a disagreement, so he had the bartender go to slide him a hammer across the bar. So one of the people we had actually grabbed him, and we almost had a big physical altercation for that. So had to ride it uptown when the band was playing. Had the cops come in and have to break that up. We're playing an infestation, so it's apparently when me, Alex, and Caffarello play together, fun happens.
Very nice. Gus, how about yourself?
Yeah, mine was relatively recent. We did the Music is Art on Friday, and we were all dressed to the nines and all ready to rock out. And second song in of a 20-minute set, a string broke on my guitar, which usually I'm always, for whatever reason, it happened, and I'm always prepared. But at that particular moment, in that time, I was not. So I went and assessed. I'm like, all right, I lost a string, grabbed a string from my bag, put it on while I was shoving the D string into the G string, and it was having all sorts of issues. And band played 3 more songs, and while I'm down trying to do all sorts of work on my guitar, I look up and Robbie Takeack's like, yeah. She's like 10 feet away, however many people were there, looks at me and had this connecting moment like, yeah, I've been there. And then he kind of walked off, and that was pretty much it for as far as horror story goes. I think I recovered for. I didn't even get the thing to work. It was the last song done.
Now I always ask, have you ever been electrocuted on stage? I know I have several times. Bad grounding or somebody plugged into the wrong outlet. Anybody else here ever walk up to the microphone and just get that zap right in the mouth?
Yeah, all the time. Yeah.
I don't think I've got it at a gig. I think I maybe some rehearsals.
Yeah. Okay.
It was a gig. There was a one rehearsal space we had that every time you wouldn't even get close to it because your lips would get numb from the electrocution that was happening. So you and then that worked into when you play live, you were afraid to touch the mic because you're so used to playing, rehearsing that way. They're like, oh god, oh wait, no, this is fine, I can do this. So, but yeah, no, I think the Continental was one where we got shocked pretty bad too. But
I actually got put on the floor once by the Mohawk years ago before they redid everything. Walked up to the mic, zapped me in the mouth once, couldn't feel anything, didn't fully register, probably because I was good 25 beers deep at that point. Walked back up, zapped me again, and actually put me on the floor the second time. This is down and out. Rob Collins once named our band. He picked the band name, the Pyrosexuals. And we were all, it was margarita night at practice. Wake up next morning on my floor, Pyrosexuals. we were creative. The O was a skull, so we were creative.
Right.
That was the band name because we used all the paper in my printer and printed up flyers. We were so excited about it.
Very nice.
But yeah, so fun horror stories on stage. I mean, shit happens, gear goes wonky.
I've had amps catch fire.
Catch
Really?
fire?
I had a crate bass amp catch fire. Yeah.
Like flames or just smoke out?
Out the back, yeah.
No
so
shit.
they don't know, just knock it over.
Oh.
Wow.
Throw it outside. Yeah, that's good.
Is that an impedance issue or is
I don't
it
know.
just time to go?
It was a long time ago. Who knows?
This happened.
Could have been something with the wiring in the club or the head or something. But
Gotcha.
let's see. We were supposed to play Club W, and then the band that was on before us, their gear blew up because there was a problem with the electricity there. So we just didn't play. It was on your own. We're like, absolutely not.
Gotcha.
Let's see. I played somewhere where somebody fell through the floor, but that was a long time. We were playing in Lockport when they had Blind Melons. There was right down the bridge, and we had to stop playing because the curtains on the side of the stage. A bat had somehow flown into the club, so they had to catch it between two brooms and take it outside. I used to play years and years ago. I used to play at Kenzie's, and that place would always have fights and stuff break out, and you would be like, "Keep playing, keep playing." So that was always fun.
That's amazing.
I'm not sure which one I like more, the amp catching fire or somebody falling through the floor.
I'm going with the one where you had to catch the bat between two brooms. That's pretty impressive, right? That's that's a skill right there. Bats are not easy.
It took them a while.
Yeah.
Delay a game due to animal control needed.
Delay game, 12th man on the field.
Yeah.
Very nice.
How about you? Any other interesting times on stage where things have just gone
Awry.
in the like the completely wrong direction that you expected them to?
Trying to think on that. Well, when we weren't on stage, we opened for Weezer, and we were back in the behind the stage waiting to go on, and we're all excited about that. And Rivers Cuomo walked like in between us to talk to the security guard, and we're all like, "Dude, that's Rivers Cuomo. Yeah, that's awesome." And he walks back, and then like 5 minutes later, security came up to us and said, "You guys aren't allowed back here." Like, oh, this is terrible.
So you were kicked out by Rivers Cuomo.
Yeah.
Oh man.
You got
indirectly.
You got Rivers.
So so there's your hero.
I knocked myself out in front of Ace Frehley, if that makes you feel any
that's
better. He was standing right there watching. I didn't see the giant speaker over the ending. I was only singing in this band. We were called Broken Frame. I wasn't playing guitar. Well, I went to stand up to really emphasize a note, and just fast I could, right in the bottom, probably like a good 200-pound speaker. Out cold.
Wow.
Knocked myself right out. My guitar player, Brandon, actually grabbed me by my belt and threw me, because I was about to teeter right off into the guardrail.
Oh, shit.
Out like a light. Those are good times. Crocodile Rock in Allentown, Pennsylvania.
I wish I remembered it.
Me too. I'm sure it looked hilarious.
It was probably great to everyone that saw it.
That would have been one of those times you wanted somebody in the crowd with a cell phone.
I was just going to say, I'm like, that's one time I would have been down with somebody videotaping
Right.
stuff. No, nothing. It's probably better off. We didn't sell much for CDs to begin with. There were no CDs sold after we got off stage.
We got to buy some so the guy can get aspirin.
Yeah, right.
Hey, man.
Then we
His
sold.
head's gonna hurt.
I think we sold 2 CDs before we went up. After we got done playing, yeah, nothing at all. It's probably better that way.
Nice. All right, gentlemen. I think this brings us to our final topic of the interview. Food, man. What do you guys like to grub on?
Well, since it's Sunday.
It is a Sunday.
Salade's Wings. Since we're done with this, that's where we're heading.
Mighty Salade's Wings.
Mm-hmm.
They do have some awesome wing flavor selections, and they're usually pretty bomb in general.
Absolutely.
Go out in Hamburg, go to Tacos and More, right on Route 5.
Nice.
What does the and more consist of?
This place, they have like the old style like Pepsi menus where they do the push-in letters.
Oh, nice.
It goes all the way around the one wall and around the other one, and basically anything you want, like they do subs, and, chicken fingers, But anything you want. If you want a taco with some mozzarella sticks in it or some poppers, he'll do it. Like whatever they have there, he'll mix whatever combination you want of anything.
You can get a garbage plate taco.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I like it.
And he usually has a gun on his hip and usually some kind of large, either German Shepherd or other like semi-large dog there.
Nice.
He's open late. Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
I usually try and find roast beef on weck everywhere. Like, whoever has it on a menu, I'm going to try it, and I want to see which ones are the best. I usually have been drinking, so I don't really remember the best ones. But yeah, I think anyone in Buffalo that says they're from Buffalo, don't go wings, go beef on weck, and try every one of those. Yeah.
That's a good idea.
And that's what
it is.
I've been trying to do that. Favorite foods? Yeah. I'm pretty simple. I love pretzels.
All right.
I will eat pretzels all day long. Trader Farms, their brown box. The guy that's like, eat me, he's on it. I ate the shit out of those, so you can't find them anymore. Now Utz. I love Utz pretzels a lot. Yeah. All their, like, even their chips are amazing too. Like the salt and vinegar. I'm not that.
Plus they have some of them crazy flavors too.
Right. Yeah.
I saw something like some kind of crab.
Yeah. So I think the next generation walk into Wegmans, buy this big barrel of hard pretzels. They used to call them hard pretzels. I don't know if they call them hard pretzels anymore. But yeah, salty. And if you go to World of Beer has an amazing German pretzel. So you can have all these amazing beers and order the pretzel with cheese. You will not be sorry.
I think we're going to have to do that, man.
Yeah.
That sounds good. I mean, you're on a never-ending quest for the greatest beef on weck. I mean, that's a hell of a quest right there, guys.
We were on the quest for the greatest cheeseburger.
I still am. I'll tell you right now, best cheeseburger I've ever had so far. A place called Bainbridge, New York. It's actually the home of, or the birthplace of Elmer's glue.
Oh, all right.
In case you didn't know, see, you guys are learning a little bit of stuff. I don't know if we're going with history or science. You're learning something right now.
Some trivia.
Trivia. Bainbridge, New York, the birthplace of Elmer's glue. There was this little shit-ass diner there called Bob's Diner. I guess that could be a little bit of irony. I got the best burger I ever had at a place called Bob's.
Right.
Because Bob's Burgers is awesome.
Right.
Great cartoon.
Right. It is.
But no, Bob's Diner, bacon cheeseburger. They're like, how would you like it? I'm like, as rare as you're able to serve it. I like my meat rare.
Right.
Yeah.
Or as close to rare as possible. You know, I don't like it where it's still, you know, you're barely able to cut through. I don't do blue, but I like rare. Served it up. It was just juicy, still a little bloody. It was perfect. Now, where the bottom of the bun is not quite soaked through, but it's definitely been absorbing some juices. Oh, it's spot on. As far as locally, I mean, Gabriel's Gate out in Buffalo has a solid cheeseburger. Grover's, really good as well. Coming here in Niagara Falls, Kelly's Corner does really well. So does Mr. B's. And Salga's even. Salga's has a really great burger as well. They got a lot of nice varieties too. Sometimes I gravitate away from them a little bit just because theirs tend to be more of the complex burger. You know, there's a lot of specialties, while as me, I like simplicity.
Meat, cheese, bacon.
Bingo. Boom. Right to the point. That's all I want. But, so if there's an eatery that each of you had to say, this is the one place that you need to check out, that your taste buds need to experience. Mario, what place might you direct people towards?
Well, Salade's does have a pretty impressive selection. Also, there's have you been to the Griffin and had their wild game burger?
Yes. It's amazing.
I had ostrich.
Me too.
Delicious.
It was good. It really was.
They have a different kind every week.
I also had kangaroo one time. It was all right, a little bit more on the gamey side, but it was still good. It's something that was definitely worth checking out. But all right, so we've got the Griffin that you can check out in Niagara Falls and Christ, I forget where their other two locations are.
They got one out on Transit.
Transit.
And I think the other one's East Aurora?
The Griffin Gastropub.
Yeah.
Excellent place to check out. Or Soliday's Bar and Grill right here in Niagara Falls on Lockport Road. Gus, how about you? Are there some locations?
I think Soliday's is where you got to go right now.
Soliday's.
100%.
So Soliday's Bar and Grill on Lockport Road, Niagara Falls. If you get the chance, check it out. I know they have an amazing menu that you can check out online. There will probably be something flashing on the screen right now saying check them out and where they can go.
Maybe Jay Bain and a Speedo. Who knows?
Could be.
I mean, we could. Yeah, we're going to do that.
We're
going to do that.
That should happen.
We'll be contacting Jay Bain after we're done filming, saying, Jay, we need a picture of you in a Speedo. And then I'm going to have to buy a new phone and burn my old one, because, yeah.
He's a sexy giant.
He is a giant, that's for sure. It's funny, I actually met him and his brother. They were in a band together way back in the day.
Never-ending process.
Yep. Through, playing a show with them through ESI at the show place there, actually, where we were horribly misbooked. It was like a bunch of ska bands, them, and my band. And my band was like more blues-based rock, and then there was Never-Ending Process that
Very
was
heavy.
not.
Very heavy.
Yeah. Way out of our element. But that was the SI for you.
I was actually listening to that disc the other day on the way to work. Never-Ending Process.
Yeah, very bad.
Yep.
And
really
plus,
good stuff.
Would you want to tell the Bain brothers you weren't going to pay them?
No.
Twin Towers right there.
Yeah.
Two big motherfuckers.
Planes would knock them down.
And goddamn, they're good when it comes to food.
Mm-hmm.
They know how to make a menu. So Soliday's Bar and Grill, Niagara Falls. Check it out if you get the fucking chance. The Griffin Gastropub. Check out one of their many locations. Phenomenal food. Very different menu. And a spectacular selection of beer. Holy Christ.
Yeah.
Just a wall.
Yes.
I don't know where to start usually.
I usually start in the upper left, work my way down.
Dan starts in the upper left and works his way down. You could try the same. And let us know how it works out.
Mm-hmm.
So, gentlemen, music. Some music videos. You guys have some awesome stuff posted up online on YouTube. And we're actually going to provide our viewers with one of these videos now. What are we going to be looking at this moment?
Black Mirror.
Black Mirror. Tell us a little bit about this video before we jump into it.
Black Mirror was filmed at John Benson Custom Warehouse. We went in with we wanted almost like a video within a video, kind of to go with the theme of social media, and how there's good and bad with it. It features Myra Nobilio, Rob Helms, Jake Hassler, Dennis Clifton, and myself.
And guys, here's the video for Black Mirror. And guys, that's an awesome fucking video.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Absolutely. Now, that video on social media, surprisingly enough, was my first look at Wave the Flag. And I got to tell you, man, from the first beat, I was a fan.
Right, same here. I know you actually sent it to me ahead of time before it was released. Just looking for feedback and trying to get the name out there. I was really impressed. Nice. I really was. I know actually you sent to me tonight that we were playing, I forget what show we were on with the Mohawk. But we, me and our guitar player Luke listened to it on the way back, and we were both really impressed by it. Like, damn, this is something really cool. No, it wasn't Doyle. We were Michael or Mikhail, Michael.
Depending on who you are, Michael or Mikhail.
Right, depends on how you pronounce the name is how well you know him.
Right. The misfit that should not be named.
Right, but we opened for him. You said that to me, and I was riding home with Luke that night. I'm like, hey, Gus sent me this over. Let's give it a listen. We plugged it in, and we were both really impressed by it.
Thank you.
Really caught our ear, and I couldn't wait to catch you guys live.
Coming April 28th to the Tudor Lounge in Buffalo, New York. An amazing evening of 4 bands, 4 original genres. Crush coming at ya. Also featuring Monkey Brothers 2099. Funk from the future.
People go live, but when it comes to us, all we do is just go. Everybody say just what they gon' say, cause when it comes to us, all we do is just go.
Also featuring At the Helm, coming hard at you.
Watching out for me, and the great eyes, and the great eyes, and the great eyes, watching out for me, and the great eyes, and the great eyes.
And if we haven't hooked you yet, Coffin Hook. So come on down, April 28th, to the Tudor Lounge in Buffalo, New York.
All right. So we've had a lot of fun today, guys.
Absolutely.
A lot of fucking fun here
Good
in our
times,
new
good
home.
times.
All WNY News and Radio, the office, I know. The big comfy couch.
Real leather.
Real leather. That's what we're going with. We don't know. We haven't asked. We don't care to ask.
Otherwise.
That's right. Real leather.
That's right.
We're agnostics of fake leather. It could be fake leather, could be real leather. We just don't know yet. We
Either
don't.
way, it's leather.
We've had an awesome time hanging out with Gus and Mario. If you guys get the chance, please take the opportunity to check these guys out live. We've had a lot of fun. Mentioned a couple of local eateries where you guys can get some grub. Now, tell your friends about us and tune in every fucking week. Everybody, have a great one, and we'll see you next week for the next episode.
See you.
Peace.
And don't forget to follow these idiots online. You can look them up on YouTube under Exham Priory. That's EXHAMPRIORY. I know, it's a stupid name. You can also follow them at theexhampriory.com. Tune in every Thursday at 6 p.m. on All WNY Radio and YouTube every Tuesday. This shit'll be up in the morning. Follow us, and we'll see you assholes next week.